Okay, good evening. It's almost 6 o'clock. It is the day before Palm Sunday of 2015. And this is, as I told you, that I had different episodes I would do of Alone in the Dark. This is the Christian Hearts Christian Fellowship Church Online Ministry version of Alone in the Dark with Isaac David Brigmond. So basically I'll be preaching today and then on Palm Sunday, so I'll have like a 2-day service. But okay, I'm going to tell y'all folks that y'all seen, if you've seen me before, you've seen what I look like then and you see what I look like now. But seems like there are people that get on the internet, and I have a video that I meant to put out, but I didn't get to, and it will come either today, tomorrow, or sometime soon. But it gets to my nerves when people will look at you and will judge you based on what they see instead of what is there. You could be the nicest guy in the world, and they would not see the nice guy. They would see the image that's in the mirror. I had changed my appearance, and in my video where I showed my new look, I explained to you that there was somebody on Facebook that basically judged me by saying that God didn't like the way I'd done my looks. They said that, and I said it in the video what they were having a fit about. But the point is, why do you people in this world who do this stuff, you say that if a man changes his appearance for some reason, he's not good, he don't look good, don't seem good, something's wrong with him. Yet you haven't even bothered to ask him, questions about it. You haven't even bothered to look at his story. His story may not have nothing to do with what you see or think you see. But y'all didn't want to talk like that. Y'all want to talk about how bad he is because he done something you didn't like, or she done something you didn't like. That is not how life is, or supposed to be. Now I understand that y'all seem to think that if a he or a she was to take and change their appearance in life, that if you don't like it, you've got a right to say God this and God that. I say that has nothing to do with it. Y'all say it does, but I say it don't. Because if God had a problem with it, God would have went ahead and said what he wanted to say about it, and he would have told them to do it differently. And I have had preachers and teachers look me dead in the eyeballs and tell me that what I was doing was not wrong. Excuse me if you can't hear me good. It's me trying to clean out a straw. But anyway, the point to my story is, if I was to sin as bad as you say I do, then why are y'all even talking to me? Y'all seem to get the idea in your head that because I do things I do, I'm wrong. But the thing is, if I was as wrong as you said I was, how did I make it for 33 years and come May the 15th of 2015, I will be 34. How did I make it that long? Probably because I done what God told me to do, and I let God run my life. I may not always been perfect, and I may not always been what God wanted me to be, but God runs my life, and if you don't like it, sorry. But you got to understand that y'all are not here on earth to judge folks, And I've seen people get so rude, so nasty, so attitudey, because they didn't bother to say, look, I don't know about you. I don't know about your lifestyle. I don't know about nothing you say or do. If you don't know me that well, why are you even going to the point to tell me who I am if you don't know me like that? I mean, please, folks. You're supposed to support people in the sense of the fact that if you don't like something they're doing, tell them that so they can learn from you. Hey, you did this and I didn't like it. Well, it's not a good idea to mention it. But if you're going to mention it, no matter what someone says or does, it's better to mention it like you did. Because then, when you mention it that way, you will get people to understand the truth, not something you fabricated to get a point across. Just like saying if I told you I didn't like you wearing a dress or pants, that may not really be nothing to do with what God said or didn't say about it. Might be what I said about it, and I'm covering it up by saying God said it. Now, God probably never said he didn't like it or did like it. I probably said it for God. I'm not God's spokesman unless God tells me to speak his word. You know, that's what made me mad, is that there's actually people out there who actually look you in the eyeballs and will tell you, God said, and then you cannot get them to be honest about it. God probably never said those things, and if he did, then I would listen. And you know what? I've seen guys get in front of other folks and be talking about their brothers and sisters while their brothers and sisters are actually right there in front of them and say what they think of them. Well, okay, no offense, but I may not always like my brothers and sisters, the way they act. May not always got along with them and stuff. But at least I admit to it. And I ain't going to sit there and say, God didn't like this, God didn't like that. God probably had nothing to do with the whole thing, and I'm trying to say what I think. Why push your opinions on people when you don't know them that well? It's because you'll sit there and tell a grown man what you think of him before you even go there. I mean, I'm not telling you how to live your life. I'm just saying if you're going to live it. But don't let people tell you how to live. They don't know you. They're not your mom or your dad. They've never lived your life for you. I mean, if they did, they'd be able to tell you, look, son, look, daughters, I'm only saying this because I don't like what's going on. You know what? It would have made more sense. That's like me right now. That's like me right now, cleaning out a bottle or a container, and I look at the thing I'm cleaning. And you have to learn, when you clean something, like I'm cleaning this long straw that was made out of 2 or 3 straws stranded together. You find out that, here's how it goes along with my story. You'll find out that most of the time, just doing that don't have nothing to do with the situation. What it does is that it says that you said that you think that it's dirty on the inside. And really it is, but it's also dirty on the outside too. And you clean the inside, and you clean the inside, and you can't never get it clean enough. And you find out later, wasn't even the inside that was the problem, as much as it was the outside. So the moral of the story is that it doesn't really mean that, oh well, the inside is so dirty. The inside is so dirty. Most of the time it's inside, it needs cleaning, and outside too. But you got to clean the inside before you can clean the outside. It's like Christians. We can't be good Christians. Oh, well, I cleaned up what's in the mirror. Well, guess what? That dude that's in the mirror, he's not exactly the problem. The inside man is what's the problem. You didn't fix him first. You're too busy working on the outside man. Forgot the inside man. Oh, yeah, forgot him. Really, you didn't care about him. So you let him go, and you let the inside man come into play. And when he came in, well, you let him come into play a little too late in the story. I said that the inside man means more to you than the outside man, because you don't clean the outside man up until you see what's wrong with the inside man. Inside man comes and you say, inside dude, what's up? And then he says, well, here's what's up. And then he tells you, and you're like, oh, so you're saying that to fix me, I have to look at both internal and external self. And when I do, then I can start worrying about the whole entire world like you expect me to. And he's like, yep. And they're like, well, why didn't I know that beforehand? That man says, I told you the truth about yourself. You just didn't see him until it was too late. So in other words, you were doing right by what you did. It's just that how well you done that was what matters the most. And I've seen grown men go through so much turmoil to get a point across that they got the point across. They just, somehow the things they were talking about, I mean, you can miss a person and you can talk to them and you can have your conversation with them, but don't expect them to change or you to change. You should worry about your changing, but you shouldn't say that your whole entire life is based on one of y'all changing. Say, no, you got the conversation you wanted with them and you had it, and you're now deciding if you should keep going or with it or stop. If you keep on with it, make sure that you stay in the bounds of the situation that God asked you to. If you get over that, then you're in trouble with God and you know it. If God says, if you're going to talk to somebody again that you have been around long